Hi there, Rob's Ride Shop. So, tomorrow's race day. Tomorrow we have a race at Adams with UMRA, and I thought what I would do is just put together a real quick video to kind of go over some stuff, show you guys what they look for before you race, and some of the stuff maybe you should bring with you to the track. So this is our KX65 powered CR85 bike. So I thought I'd go through this really quick and just show you some of the stuff that the techs are going to be looking for on a bike like this before they let it on the track. First thing they're going to look for is a catch can. Now you need this catch can in case you dump your bike. Any fluids that come out of the carburetor or come out of the radiator need to be drained to that catch can. This is so we don't get fluids all over the track causing slippery conditions. They really do work. You definitely need to have that. Another thing that they're going to look for here, I have silicone on my master link here, just to make sure that master link doesn't pop off, causing the chain to fly off. Other things they're going to look for is I have silicone on most of my major bolts that are going to hold stuff together. I have it here on the sprocket. There's that little clip that holds the sprocket on. I've got it on there as well. I tend to put it on all my bolts down on my calipers and my main axle bolts as well. The other thing that I've done here, and it's a requirement, most tracks, I don't care if you're racing big bikes or little bikes, they want you to have water wetter in your radiator. The reason behind that is water wetter is not as slick as antifreeze, and it still has the properties of a decent antifreeze and coolant, so it keeps the temperatures down on the bike. So those are little things that are required. Things they're going to check, they're going to make sure your brakes are working good, they're going to make sure your clutch is working properly, they're going to make sure your tires are in decent shape. You know, just basic safety things. They want to make sure that your bike is safe to be on the track. Obviously, if you've got parts falling off your bike, they don't want to let you on the track with something like that. So those are the major things. Really, it's not that big of a deal. It takes about 2 minutes to have your bike teched when you get there. But you know, these are all things that they want to check and make sure it's for your safety and the safety of all the riders around you. So, you know, don't get upset if they don't tech your bike based on, you know, you missing a catch can or something like that. And most of the time they're going to give you, you know, hey, this issue needs to be resolved or whatever, and they'll give you a chance to go back and fix it. They're not just going to throw you off the track. Okay, so for a track day, here's some things that we'll typically take with us. We got our tools, a standard socket set, box end wrenches, pretty much anything you're going to need to tear into your bike. Most guys won't go as far as replacing a motor on the track, but I've seen it happen. Ichi one time had his 65 motor go out on him. He actually pulled the entire motor out, put the bike back together, and had it racing. So whatever tools you're going to need to tear into your bike as far as you want to tear into it if something happens. We bring oils. This is typical, you know, motor oil for your case, transmission oil. We've got two-stroke oil. I like this stuff. This is the Moto 800. This is my favorite two-stroke oil. I've had pretty good luck with it. Chain wax, chain lube. I also bring a degreaser because you never know if you have something get on your bike or maybe a small leak or something like that. You want to make sure that you don't have that stuff leaking all over the place. You will get black flagged if it becomes a problem, so you want to make sure you have your bike free of leaks and free of anything, you know, getting onto your bike. I also find this handy if I go through something and I get grease or something on my tires. It's nice to clean the tire off. Extra spark plug and the tool to remove the spark plug. Now, you know, you might have a spark plug remover in your toolkit. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. I find that this wrench in particular is pretty handy because I can get it into the tight spot where my plug is and get it out of there without too many problems. This is a ratio right measuring cup for your two-stroke oil. Don't try and guess. You want to make sure you get the right ratio. I do 32 to 1. with the mow tool, and it works pretty good for me. I find that, you know, guys are going to bounce around. You know, you're going to get some guys that run 28 to 1, some guys that think 40 to 1 is the right ratio. I run 32 to 1. I've had pretty good luck with it, and that's what I will continue to run. Little things that you might want to bring, you probably should bring, tire pressure gauge. It's going to make a big difference on your performance of your bike. If people are overinflated, they may run cold, so it'll cause you to low side or, you know, lose traction. If you have them too low, your tires are going to heat up too much, and you're just going to be tearing your tires up unneededly. So, you know, check around with the guys. You know, find somebody that's close to your weight with a similar tire, see what they're running, and you know, try and keep your pressures in the ballpark that maybe they're running. Gasket, silicone, RTV, whatever you want to call it. This stuff's invaluable because, like I said, when you go to get decked, they may go, oh, hey, you need some silicone here. Well, if you don't bring the silicone, you're not going to get it on your bike. You're not going to be able to race. Along that line's Loctite. I use Loctite on almost every nut and bolt that goes on my bike. I do not want something falling off. Duct tape. Now, I use the Gorilla Tape. I like it. It works really well. You know what? Sometimes you rip a boot. Sometimes you rip your leather. Sometimes you know, tear something up. Sometimes you got something on your bike that's giving you problems. This stuff comes in really handy. Along that lines, I carry a whole assortment of nuts and bolts. If something does fall off your bike, you need to make sure you've got the nuts and bolts to replace those. Other little things, I like to carry little impact. Comes in handy when I'm trying to remove nuts and bolts quickly. Really helps out. I bring an assortment of sprockets. All these sprockets are for this KX65 motor. I have different sizes in here. I usually run, currently I've got a 14 on there, but because I do have a new rear wheel, I don't know which front sprocket I'm going to want to run with that rear sprocket. Unfortunately, that sprocket I don't have, or that wheel I don't have a whole lot of sprocket choices for yet, so I have to run that rear sprocket. When you replace your sprocket or change your sprocket, you need one of these. This is for the little clip that goes along with your sprocket, holds it onto the shaft. This clip is almost impossible to get off without a set of these. You absolutely want these snap ring removal tools because it makes it a million times easier. So if you plan on changing sprockets, this is a good idea. I also bring an extra chain because you just never know. Even if you don't need it, maybe somebody else at the track will. With the chain, you need a chain cutter. Now, you know, once you put your chain on, you'll find sometimes that maybe it's a little too long. This tool is invaluable for removing that extra couple of links you may or may not need. I like to bring gloves so I can quickly work on something, pull it apart, take my gloves off, and able to get back and going. Along the lines of sprockets, we also have our rear sprockets. Like I said, this bike I don't have a whole lot of options yet, but we work on rags. Definitely rags. I always carry an Easy Up. I always carry an ice chest, snacks, a chair. You know, the little things that you think you're going to need for a day sitting in the sun. If you've got, you definitely want to make sure you bring sunblock. You know, the normal things. In my ice chest, I usually bring plenty of Gatorade, plenty of water, and I personally like my green tea, so I bring a lot of green tea. Do not bring beer to drink in between races or at launch. It's just a bad idea, man. You guys don't need to be drinking alcohol and then going out on the track. If they see you drinking and getting on the track, you're going to get black flag. You want to bring a couple beers to have after you're done racing at the end of the day, to relax before you pack up, and when you're in the pits, it's fine. Enjoy yourselves, but be smart. Don't go out and risk your safety and other people's safety drinking it. Right. Snacks. I don't usually eat a whole lot of heavy food when I'm at the track. Some guys are good with an entire 4-course meal, and that's good for them. But for me, I don't like racing full. I feel really sluggish and slow, and it makes it hard to move around on the bike. So, I tend to stick to smaller snares. Don't forget your leathers. Don't forget your gloves. Don't forget your boots. Don't forget your helmet. I like to run a GoPro. It gives me a chance to show footage. I can go back and look at what I did and how I did at the races. So, if you're going to bring a GoPro, make sure it's got plenty of charged batteries, you got plenty of cards that are emptied out, etc. So, hopefully I didn't forget anything too important, but that's about everything I could think of. So hopefully we'll see you out at the track.